This is E.T. Today's lesson is about protein supplements. Now, if you want the fast TikTok version, it goes like this. Eat only natural, unrefined, real foods. For instance, meat from fish, rich in omega-3 fats, vitamin D, as well as protein. Beef, in particular liver. That's a food that's complete in every way. Dairy, preferably raw. And some plants, hemp seeds contain protein, may be a bit inferior to the animal sources. Now, if you want more information, including why some foods are more effective than others, why so many people, including E.T., were suckered into believing that protein supplements were necessary, then stay watching. First, some history. During the late 40s and 50s, almost all information regarding bodybuilding and weightlifting came from a limited number of magazines. And of those magazines, those published by Bob Hoffman and Joe Weider dominated the field, with a niche readership comprised of young men without much money, but with intense desire to get strong and build an impressive physique. These publishers turned their magazines into advertising machines, with the intent of convincing readers that without this or that barbell set or protein powder, nobody can achieve strength or big muscles. Well, the advertising worked. E.T., along with thousands of other young men, got summer jobs or did paper routes during school in order to buy some usually ineffective protein powders or unnecessary vitamin supplements. Now, it is true, in order to build muscle mass, protein is required by the body, though in what amount and in what combination with other foods, and at what time during the day to be taken, and so on. All this remains disputed, even by science. But certain things are in fact known to be true. For instance, for proper assimilation of protein, the human body requires that the food carry 9 essential amino acids. You see a list here. Histidine, isoleucine, leucine, lysine, methionine, phenylalanine, threonine, tryptophan, valine. These 9 amino acids, in combination with others, result in a complete protein. And foods with all of these amino acids tend to be animal products, meat, fish, dairy. Incomplete foods, lacking in one or more of the 9 essential amino acids, such as rice or beans, can together form a complete protein. Although Bob Hoffman's and Joe Weider's soy proteins that E.T. and others believed were absolutely necessary for muscle gains, although they contained complete amino acid profile, they may have actually limited muscle progress. And that's for several reasons that I'm not going to go into here. I do know they were not easy to digest, and as a result, not easy to assimilate. To give you an idea about how these protein powders were made, let me refer you to Terry Todd. He was one of the most reliable and intellectual of early powerlifting champions. He wrote several books, and here is a piece from an article he did some years before he died. Now, I'm quoting Terry Todd, who was visiting the York facilities where Bob Hoffman made his barbells and came up with his protein powders. I'm quoting Terry Todd. The sight that met my eyes that day was Bob Hoffman standing over a fiber drum half full of finely ground soy flour, stirring the contents with a canoe paddle. Next to the drum was a container of sweet Hershey's chocolate, with a scoop thrust into it. After stirring a while, Bob dipped his finger into the mixture of soy flour and sweet chocolate, and he tasted it. With a grimace, he exclaimed, "Oh, nobody's going to buy that." And then he shoveled more scoops of chocolate into the drum and resumed stirring. Eventually, he achieved a mix that had a satisfactory taste and thus established the formula for Hoffman's original high protein, unquote. Now, had E.T. known this back in the late 1950s, he would not have squandered his hard-earned cash to buy it. E.T. tried Weider's protein too. It was pretty much the same thing. It came in pill form. It tasted as bad as Bob Hoffman's version. Whatever, when I reached the age of 21 and out of the Army after 3 years, I'd learned enough to know that the successful strongmen, I'm thinking of Paul Anderson, Bob Peoples, Doug Hepburn, Bruce Randall, Marvin Eder, built their bodies without anabolic help and without protein supplements. They relied instead on unprocessed foods, such as raw milk, Anderson quaffed by the gallons, meat and eggs. Trainer and bodybuilder Vince Gironda advocated at one time eating 30-plus eggs a day if you want to build lean muscle. They also had vegetables. Some took it fermented, more easily digested. And it was with these foods that E.T. achieved his best gains as an early 1960s out-of-the-military novice powerlifter and also as a college sprinter. Protein supplementation, as a general rule, is not necessary, assuming that one has access to wholesome food sources that contain full complements of those essential amino acids. It's usually best if those amino acids come in combination with other nutrients that are found in meat and eggs and fish. This is E.T. Put your comments below. Like this video, share it on social media. See the bell icon up to the right there? If you tap that, you'll be notified of new uploads. And do subscribe to this channel. Thank you.